It's week 12, day 82 of my full-time chronic pain rehabilitation journey. My name's Jason, and today I'm going to teach you how to minimize suffering. Chronic conditions are difficult enough without adding to it. First though, a quick status update. I am dead tired. I was super sleepy this morning and Eden came in and woke me up. Of course I couldn't get mad at her because she wanted to show me this really cute picture that she drew. And then she wanted to lay in bed with me. So I acquiesced and did that, but then I still felt really groggy after that. And I pulled out all of my bag of tricks to try and wake myself up and bring my brain online, and none of it seemed to work even so. So in the end, it was just an act of will to get to the gym, but I went, and I'm very, very proud of myself. Today's tip is related to what pulled me out of my morning funk. It was actually weightlifting, going to the gym and focusing on one thing that had nothing to do with the rest of my life, and that's what weightlifting does. It causes you to concentrate. Pulled me out of my funk. I'm still really tired, but I'm not feeling blah like I was before. So this could be any activity that you find helpful. As long as it's focused, it can help bring you out of your state that you're in. One example would be an adult coloring book. Another would be meditation, although that didn't work for me this morning for some reason. Have a list of these things that you can do that can help pull you out of your state. On to today's topic, minimizing suffering. There's going to be some suffering with pain, but there's no reason to amplify it, and many of us are very good at multiplying our discomfort. There is a man on YouTube that I've run into. He is an Indian mystic, a yogi, technically. His name is Sadhguru. He has a Santa Clausian white beard, and I find the guy charming just because he's simply spoken, and he has little parables that he likes to tell that I think anyone could understand, and many of his points are on point and completely relevant to what I'm experiencing in my journey. When I started my journey, I said there is no area, avenue, venue I would not explore in trying to rehabilitate myself, and that includes Indian mysticism. I'm not above it, and it seems like it actually might work. There's something to it. So Sadhguru's perspective on suffering, this is not his comprehensive perspective, but it is a perspective, part of it is important, is that human beings have two unique faculties that separate us from the rest of the animal kingdom. One is our memory, and the other is our wild imagination. And when we take these two faculties and combine them, we are able to suffer orders of magnitude greater than any other creature on the planet. Why? Because we basically craft a story. We take our present suffering, link it to our past suffering, and then imagine future suffering. And that imagined suffering can be many times worse than anything we've experienced in the present or the past. And so we essentially have multiplied our suffering many times over, and we feel awful for good reason. In reality, the only suffering we're experiencing, if any, is in the present moment. The pain you feel right now is really the only pain that you need to deal with. Everything that you've already felt in the past is over with, and everything that you're imagining in the future may never happen. Some of it might happen, but chances are, if you're a catastrophizer like I am, most of it is never going to happen. And so really, you just need to sit with the present suffering. That's it. That's all the suffering you have to endure. Everything else is a story that you have, in essence, concocted with your amazing mammalian brain. The human brain is an amazing association machine. It wants to connect neurons any way possible. And this allows us to contextualize things in a way that other animals just can't. And it allows for vivid and imaginative storytelling. And this is what we do. We craft narratives for ourselves. There's a Jason story, a chronic pain story. And up until this point, it has been a very long story. It has a very long history. There's present suffering and then imagined future suffering in the Jason narrative. But what I've realized is I have to throw that narrative out. The only good that past suffering does is it allows us to analyze our past behavior and maybe strategies we've tried that haven't worked. We can learn from it, basically. That's it. It's good as a learning tool. Present suffering we have to endure, and then imagined suffering is something we essentially have to suppress. Human beings are not prophets. We do not know the future, but we like to pretend that we do. And for some reason, people with pain really pretend like they can. And the reality is they suck at it. There may be suffering in our future. In fact, there's guaranteed to be some suffering in anyone's future. but the magnitude of that suffering is unknown. The duration of that suffering is unknown. And so do not accept this narrative you've crafted for yourself as reality. It is simply a story that you've been telling yourself for so long that it seems true. Break out of the narrative. So the question is, how? How do I break out of that narrative? And the answer is related to my gym activity today. Be present. Experience only what you're experiencing right now when you find yourself having a propensity to go into the past or the future and amplify your suffering. You deal with what you're dealing with right now and only that. And focused activity is one way, like meditation or weightlifting or any number of other things. Focused activity is one way of getting yourself to be in the moment now, not in the past, and not in the future. And when you do that, hopefully you're not suffering in the present moment, you will not suffer. And if you are suffering in the present moment, you will only feel the pain you're feeling at that time decontextualized, outside of a suspect narrative. Fighting for your life means not adding to your burden unnecessarily. In reality, the fight is already hard enough. You don't need to make it worse. If you find my videos helpful, please pass them along and don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, keep fighting for your life.